After many years of getting basically the same glass back design on the regular iPhone models, Apple is finally switching it up and giving us a new camera bump redesign that I like to call the Cyclops. And in this video, I'm going to explain why Apple is doing this, and I'm also going to share everything else that's new with the new iPhone 16 and 16 Pro leaks. But back to the Cyclops design, no, it's not like the Cyclops from Greek mythology with a single huge eye, but more like the Cyclops from X-Men, but turned sideways like this, but nearly not as cyclopsy as the Pixel's camera design. Anyway, you get the point. Apple's planning to align their camera bumps vertically, just like they did on the iPhone 11, except that one of the leaked prototypes shows that Apple is going to merge them together into a single piece, so it looks like a dynamic island, but on the back. So essentially, just like the iPhone 10, except that the flash will be on the outside, and of course, we'll have that squarish chunk of glass, so it'll look nicer overall. Now, some of the other prototypes also show a more basic iPhone 11 design, but honestly, I think that Apple needs to somehow mix things up, and I think the Cyclops design will definitely make it stand out and show that this is the brand new iPhone 16, which is very important for Apple. But now let me get into the real reason Apple's going with the vertical camera layout on the iPhone 16, because if you didn't already know, Apple intentionally created a diagonal camera layout on the current iPhone in order to allow enough space for the crazy big camera sensor with stabilization to fit. So there's gotta be a great reason for the pivot back to a vertical camera alignment, right? Well, Apple actually has a pretty genius master plan for a brand new special feature. But before I explain the new quick video capture button, I gotta do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Ridge. This is their tobacco brown leather wallet, which is insanely compact and probably the best gift you can get for a guy. And I've personally been loving their key case, which basically holds all of your small keys together like this, so they're not all sticking out all over the place and being annoying. So check out Ridge's 30% off holiday sale, which ends tomorrow, by going to ridge.com/maxtech with the link below. Now, getting back to that special new feature that's going to be enabled by the new vertical camera layout, it's apparently the new 3D spatial video recording that'll be coming to the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, which is already available on the 15 Pro models by aligning the ultra-wide and main camera vertically, which are the two cameras that are required for spatial video. And yes, some people have already viewed some of their own spatial video on some headsets, which is one of Apple's biggest exclusive features, which is meant to revolutionize the way that we take and view our videos and memories. Now, currently, it does seem like a huge gimmick to me, but I honestly haven't tried it yet, and maybe it would blow my mind. So Apple's probably right about this going into the future. And that's why they're intentionally aligning the cameras on the new regular iPhone 16 models, which will be limited to the ultra-wide and main cameras to be able to gather the 3D data to create the spatial videos. And one of the best ways to upsell their Vision Pro headset is to make sure that every iPhone can record it, which will be tempting for a lot of people that end up trying it out at the Apple Store. And going even further, there is an even bigger feature that has leaked for the entire iPhone 16 lineup that'll push this feature even more. And that is apparently the brand new capture button, which will be located right under the current location of the millimeter wave antenna, which will be relocated to the left side of the phone underneath the volume buttons. This new capture button will likely be capacitive, so it might not stick out like a regular button, but it'll still feel like a button press due to Apple's haptic motor vibration. Mark Gurman has just leaked that this new capture button is literally dedicated to taking videos, with the idea being that Apple really wants to make it as easy as possible to record spatial video, making it more accessible with this new button. And based on the location, it's gonna make using this button the most natural in landscape orientation. So you're gonna hold your iPhone like this, click the button to instantly record spatial video, which, by the way, spatial video is not gonna work in portrait orientation because you need the cameras to capture 3D depth data from the left and the right angles. Up and down angles will not be able to record this data accurately, so take that, TikTok. That's another win for traditional YouTube widescreen format. But the really intriguing idea surrounding all of this is the fact that Apple is so confident in this spatial video feature that they're literally going to redesign the camera layout to be vertical and add a dedicated capture button just to push spatial video. So they're basically going all in. So I'm excited to see if they're actually gonna end up being right about all of this. But now let's move on to some other iPhone 16 lineup leaks that we recently got, starting with the action button. Apparently, the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max will be getting a larger action button since the current one is quite small. But the reason they're probably doing this is because the regular iPhone 16 models are also getting the new action button next year, but it's gonna be the smaller version like we currently have. Now, in terms of the chips, we have some exciting news for the regular iPhone 16 models, with them rumored to be getting a new A18 chip instead of just reusing the previous Pro model chip like Apple has been doing. So that's a big deal because the current iPhone 15 is still on 5nm chip technology, while the Pros are chilling with the awesome new 3nm tech, which is more efficient. So next year, the regular iPhone 16s will get 3nm with the A18, while the 16 Pro models will be getting the A18 Pro, which will basically be a beefed up version with more RAM and more cores, but it's overall good news across the lineup. We also had a leak from the Elec claiming that the new iPhone 16s will use updated micro lens OLED panels, which should actually be brighter while increasing power efficiency, which is honestly gonna help a lot to make sure all of those display dimming issues go away for good, and it's gonna help battery life as well. But to be honest, most of the exciting changes are rumored to be coming to the Pro models next year. For example, the Pro models will be getting larger 6.3 and 6.9-inch displays, which means that the smaller 16 Pro will finally be getting the incredible 5x telephoto camera that I've really been enjoying on my 15 Pro Max. On top of that, the Pro models will be getting the new 5G modem chips that'll be more efficient, as well as the new Wi-Fi 7 spec that is the first version that can connect to multiple Wi-Fi bands at the same time. But unfortunately, neither of those features are coming to the regular 16 models. And going even further, the Pro models will be getting a much needed upgrade to a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera instead of the current 12 megapixel version we've had ever since the iPhone 11. And we actually got the future roadmap for camera upgrades as well, with Apple planning to slowly transition all of their cameras to 48 megapixels, with the ultra-wide getting it next year and the telephoto getting it the year after that, for a full set of 3 cameras with 48 megapixel sensors across the board. So it's pretty clear that Apple's plan is to slowly stretch out the upgrades, improving the iPhone a little bit more 1 year at a time, which sucks for us, but it makes sense for Apple as a brand. But with that said, let me know your thoughts on the whole new Cyclops iPhone 16 design, and if it makes sense for Apple to go with this down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe above and definitely check out one of those 2 videos right over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.